start, so I appreciate that. And maybe you've had a chance to speak with the attorney, maybe not. Some of you may have even been up earlier than that, but the goal is to make sure that once we start our hearings together, that we start on a good foot, so we don't bring any of that anxious or negative energy. So that's why we do the breaths. That's one of the reasons. So I appreciate you doing that. Also, I want to make sure that you understand you have rights as you sit here. Your primary right, and one of the first rights, is to remain silent, which means technically when I call your name, you come to the microphone, your hands must be visible, but you don't have to make a statement at all. If you elect to remain silent, what I must do is maintain not guilty for you. And what that does is it either sets this for another pre-trial or possibly a trial. Your next right to have a trial. Trial before me, which are called bench trials, unless you make a request in writing against you at the trial. And if your witnesses won't come based on you asking your witnesses to come, we will for you. In addition to the right to remain silent and the right to a trial, as I mentioned before, you have a right to an attorney, which is why we have a defense attorney here who can assist you. If you have not had a chance to speak with him, we'll give you an opportunity to. Or if you want to hire your own attorney, let me know that, and I'll give you a chance to come back with your own attorney. But you definitely have a right to an attorney. When I call your name, there are 4 types of pleas you can enter. The first one is not guilty. A not guilty plea, again, will reset this for another hearing or a trial. You can enter a plea of guilty also. A guilty plea is where you are admitting what you're accused of. If you do that, it could $0 to $1,000, 0 days in jail, up to 6 months in jail. And that's on a guilty plea or a guilty finding. And then there's also a plea of no contest. A plea of no contest is similar to a guilty plea in that we can get your case resolved. But the difference is you're not stating with your own words that you're guilty. What you're doing is not contesting the allegations against you. That means if I find you guilty, that plea cannot be used against you in a later proceeding. And then there's a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. If you choose that particular plea, we'd have to stop these proceedings to see exactly where you are and your ability to go forward. And keep in mind, though, that plea cannot be used for your traffic cases. Moving to your traffic cases. If you're going to resolve a traffic case here today, and if you get points, the BMV will be notified of your points. If you accumulate 12 or more points on your license will be suspended. And driving under a 12-point suspension in Ohio is a jailable offense. So it's important to know where you are in regard to your points. Also, you must have insurance to drive. So if your ticket is marked no for insurance, the BMV is going to suspend your license. What I normally do is give you 72 hours to come back with your insurance. You do that, we update the file. That way you will avoid that particular suspension. I also give you 72 hours to take care of your fines and costs. And what I mean by that exactly is I handle your case, tell you to go to the clerk's office, you're supposed to take care of it today. But if you cannot, with 72 hours, you can come back up here and request a payment plan. I give you 72 hours because it's required no payment towards your fines and costs. You do that and you'll be in good shape. The other thing about driving I want to mention, under suspension, if you do not have a license, that has become a very expensive fine and penalty in the city of Cleveland and beyond. Basically, you're looking at 2 points on your license, resuspension of your license, possible jail time, and a fine that ranges anywhere between $500 to $1,000. What I do in this particular court is try to give you a chance to come back with your license in a better position, whether that's driving privileges or actual license. You do that, I'll start reducing your fine, make sure you're not getting any points. I don't resuspend your license and I don't give you jail time. So the bottom line with that one is try to get your license in a good position and not drive without a valid license. All right, if you are here for a felony charge, you have a right to an attorney, you have a right to know the charges against you, and you have a right to a bond. And then your attorney will also tell you about the possibility of a probable cause hearing. That's where the city would have to indicate to me that a felony was committed, that you're connected to it, so much so that I have to send it to the county for the decision to be made, because this is a misdemeanor court, it's not a felony court. I can't decide a felony case here, but we could have that preliminary hearing. Now, if you talk with the attorney and you decide to waive that hearing, you're not admitting any guilt. The case will simply be sent from here to the county, and it will continue as if, again, that you're not guilty at this point. So that's the felony charges, but you'll get a chance to speak with the attorney again if you have not had a clear understanding of that. Otherwise, thank you for your patience, and I'll call your cases.
He said he can't do it right, so I said, just wait between breaks. Just listen to this. He said, I'm going to send back to the dock and watch
that's over there. Okay. Justin Lamb. Mr. Lamb, this is 19 TRD 03824, where they are alleging that you were operating your vehicle with an in or unsecure load on or about October 7th. That normally means something was maybe not strapped down or falling off your vehicle. You did have insurance. What we can do, if you want to resolve the case today, is amend it such that you're not getting any points. It would just be the fine for the particular offense. Is that how you want to do it? How do you plead to the charge that carries no points, unsafe vehicle? All right. Mr. Lamb, what was on your vehicle? So it was a car, it didn't fall off, did it?
No, it didn't.
Okay. So is it certain ways?
I didn't have one strap on there.
All right. And you work for a tow company?
Yes, sir.
All right, so normally that's a $150 fine. What I'm gonna do based on what you're telling me, I'm gonna cut it in half. It'll be $75 plus costs. Just go to the clerk's office, all right? Take care.
Is that right up there?
Yeah, once you go out to the window on your left, when they're ready, they'll actually call your name, but you can check in so they'll know you're there.
All right, thanks.
All right. Jason Cawthorn. 19 TRD 03320 from September 4th, 2019. Good morning, sir. This was a case where they were alleging that there was something on your windshield that obstructed your view. And it looks like the city prosecutor has agreed to dismiss your charge. Is that correct?
Sir.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and respect the agreement that you came to with the city. And I'll go ahead and dismiss that. You're free to go. Take care. Travion Smith. Good morning, sir. Mr. Smith, 19 TRD 01669 is driving under suspension, expired plate, and a seatbelt. This happened on May 1st, 2019, but it looks like what the city has acknowledged that your license are in a better position now. So they were going to amend the charge so that you don't face all those penalties that I mentioned for driving under suspension, to failing to display and dismiss the other charges. Is that your understanding?
Yeah.
All right. So to the amended charge of failing to display your license, how do you plead? All right. I'll accept the plea with the fine of guilt. It's normally a $500 fine, but with your license in a better position, I'm going to take off $200 of that. You don't get any points, and I'm dismissing all those other charges. So when you go to the clerk's window, they'll work out the difference there. And, good luck.
All right,
Take care. How are you, Ms. Black? Tawana Shannon. Ms. Shannon, 20 TRD 00025 is from December 9th, alleging that you allowed someone to operate your vehicle who didn't have valid license at the time. You were in the car at the time? Who was the person driving your vehicle? Okay. Did you know he didn't have any license? All right, so it looks like what the city has been willing to do in this regard is give you a break on the wrongful entrustment, and you would enter a plea to the seatbelt. Is that your understanding? All right, so how do you plead to not having your seatbelt on? All right, I'll accept that plea with a fine of guilt. It's a $25 fine. Just go to the clerk's office, all right? Take care. Shayla Rosado, 19 CRB 01319. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, this is a charge of obstruction of official business, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. Madam Prosecutor, it looks like there is an agreement here where there's going to be a plea to obstruction of official business and the remaining charges are going to be dismissed. Is that correct?
Yes, this all really started because she called the police, is my understanding. She called the police because something had happened with someone else. And she was upset at the time. And this is an apartment complex, so she was venting out in public, and the officer heard it and asked her to, bring that back in, and she took offense and started asserting what she believed to be her right to say whatever, wherever. And she ultimately, it was more about she wasn't giving the information they asked her for, identifying herself and all that. And it really got way out of hand. But the basic issue was she needed to identify herself. So we're gonna go.
Okay, and no major issue of resisting arrest or anything like that.
No, there was no. It's okay. It was handled, so we're gonna consider that to be punishment enough.
Okay. All right, Ms. Rosado, how do you plead to obstruction of official business? Okay. Ms. Rosado, is there anything you'd like to add to what happened, or?
Yes, sir. Prior to the officers coming to the scene, I, as well as my 1-year-old son, was assaulted by his aunt. So when they came, yes, I was very upset. Yes, I did get disrespectful with the officer once I felt like he was not hearing me.
Okay.
I own that. But as a parent, my child comes first, and I was already upset that my child was assaulted.
Okay.
So yes, I agree that I could have been more professional about it, but so today, they were the professionals in the situation.
Okay. And prosecutor, did you have any information in regard to that what the underlying issue was, if there was an assault or anything like that? The officers didn't.
Yeah, I believe her aunt had some mental health issues. So
Okay.
the ambulance was called. They had her in the ambulance and were dealing with that situation. So I don't believe there was any dispute that something had actually happened.
Okay.
It was what came after that, because when the officers arrived on the scene, they're asking for her information, but she's upset about being asked not to curse out in public. So instead of just giving up her information, it becomes a back and forth and an argument between her and the officer. And she seemed to think she had the right to determine who she spoke to at that point. And that was never going to go well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So 1 second.
Your Honor, just to let you know,
Thank you.
Ultimately, she was arrested by, I believe, 4 officers. I witnessed on body cam and tased 3 times.
Okay.
So I'd like the court to take that into consideration. That 4 grown men.
But that sounds like
That's
a
why
lot
I
more
said,
went
We
on.
were going to allow that to be kind of punishment.
Okay. Okay.
Resist people.
So it got to that extent, huh, Ms. Rosado? It got to that
Yes, I
extent.
would also like to add, no, this is not my name. I'm not a violent person. I don't have a long history of criminal activity. I have a college degree in psychology.
Okay.
I'm currently working on getting my 2nd degree. I'm a single mother who works very hard for my children. So I was simply upset that my child was assaulted and I was not being heard.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. A couple of things. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and accept that the charges of resisting and disorderly conduct are going to be dismissed. And the reason I'm glad you spoke to me, because normally when I hear obstruction of official business, that sparks, of course, a fine. It could be jail time, but more often than not, it requires you to be involved with my programs that last months. But then I'm listening to you. I'm looking at you live in Ashtabula, correct? So, taking that into consideration, because you would have to drive here once a week to attend those programs. But most importantly, what I appreciate is that you've accepted responsibility. That's the major thing that we fail to do in this particular courtroom. I'm just speaking for this court. If there was a mistake that was made, own up to it. Yeah, there are other parties, but all we can control is our response. So I appreciate you accepting responsibility. So that really leads me to what I'm gonna do. So as opposed to the maximum, which could have been a $1,000 fine, it's gonna be a $100 fine, no jail time, no probation. And the other thing that I will do, that I will offer for you, and I'm gonna give you a piece of paper, is that we've just started a new women's focused program here that takes place on Wednesdays at 5:30. That $100 plus cost that you owe us, once you get this information about the program, you will have the option of doing 4 of those programs, and I will vacate that fine and cost for you. But at the same time, understanding that you have obligations, you may not be able to do it. So you're already getting a good benefit on the front end, but this is just something additional. because I think not only could you gain something from it, but also your wisdom from what you've experienced and what you're doing with your degree and all that stuff could help some of the other ladies too. It's all about inspiring each other and everybody growing. So that's the ruling of the court. No jail time, no probation at this point, $100 fine plus cost, and I'll give you this information, all right? So give me 1 second. All right, thank you. Reginald Robinson. How are you, sir? Excellent. All right, this was the 20 CRB 00025 allegation of domestic violence. And it looks like, Madam Prosecutor, can you articulate the amendment?
Yes, after speaking with the domestic violence advocate, currently, and Mr. Robinson has shared that his father is in the hospital at this point.
Okay.
So this is an effort to get this resolved without him having to appear at some point, because he is quite elderly and ill. So this will be amended from domestic violence misdemeanor 4 to disorderly conduct misdemeanor 4. The applicant does have some information to share after having spoken with his father.
All right, so with the misdemeanor 4, it goes from being up to a $1,000 fine, 6 months in jail, to a maximum of 30 days in jail and a $250 fine. So that's what you face when you enter a plea. Is it your desire to enter a plea to the disorderly conduct misdemeanor of the 4th degree?
No contest.
No contest. All right. And Madam Prosecutor says someone's here to speak.
Miss Black.
Oh, Miss Black. I'm sorry, Miss Black. You have some information.
Sarah Black, domestic violence, for the record, Your Honor. Your Honor, I was not able to contact this victim, but however, Ms. Johnson had spoken to the victim.
Okay.
And he lives with his son. His son lives with him and does not, and he don't know why he pulled a knife out and threatened everyone. Believes that his son Reginald has an alcohol problem and an addiction and needs treatment. He's not afraid of his son, but he does believe, and he don't believe his son will cause him any harm, as he states to Ms. Johnson. Says he can come back to live with him upon release, but due to his medical condition, he will not be able to come into the prison.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Robinson, this is what I'm going to do. Based on Ms. Ivy, do we have any of your other cases coming up? Did we resolve your cases? Yeah, do we have any?
No.
All right. You know what? Can you for 1 second, can you speak to Mr. Robinson, and then I'm gonna call him back up. It's just Ms. Ivy's gonna speak to you. I'm gonna call you back up. It's just a question. Okay. Okay. All right. Salton Wright, we'll call you right back up. Mr. Wright, 12 CRB 00543 from April 11, 2012, where there was an allegation of domestic violence. Looks like we had already entered a plea of not guilty. I remember you said you weren't aware of the charges. I issued a no contact order. And what I'm going to do now is set this matter for what your attorney is indicating to be a trial. So it'll be the first trial date set. And we have February 13th at 1:30. We'll see you back there.
February 13th, what time?
At 1:30.
I have to get into 2020. I'm still writing nice.
Yeah.
I have to do more
About it-
do-overs.
About another week, you'll be
Yeah,
there.
right.
Nicole Sherrick, 19 CRB 01357. Ms. Sherrick has been here several times pre-trying this case of criminal damaging. Madam Prosecutor, where we are now? Where are we today?
I have the audio for him to listen to, but it's gonna take a minute. So we're setting out another date to give offender time to really sit down and listen to all the many conversations.
All right. So we're gonna set this for February 3rd, 9:30. Ms. Sherrick, you hurt your leg? You weren't on crutches last time I saw you.
Right? They said I sprained it somehow. I got fluid around
Okay. Wow. Well, I hope you get better soon. So I'll see you back. Yes, 9:30 on February 3rd.
my. How are you doing today, girl?
I'm doing good. And I hope you feel better.
Thanks.
All right, you take care. Jennifer Hales. Good morning. One second, Ms. Hales. Ms. Hales, did you get a chance to speak with the defense attorney? Okay. Oh, you have your own attorney. Okay, thank you. That's why you're coming up. Let me know. All right, thank you very much. So you've hired your own attorney, right? Or
Yes, but if there's an option for me to get a public defender, I would want to go that route. I'm not too satisfied with the service that I have from my attorney.
who was your attorney? Who were you going to hire?
I hired Robert Brooks.
All right. Okay, have a seat for a moment. I'll call your case back up. Harold Starr. Is Mr. Starr still present? Harold Starr? They want that. Okay, is he out there still? Find out if that's his name. It looks like 19 CRB 01469 Harold Starr has a case that is being continued. Bailiff Hicks, I'm sorry. What was that date on there again? February 3rd at 9:30.
He says he'll do it on his own.
How old is he?
50 something. I asked him if he tried to do it on his own before. Yeah, I can stop whenever I get ready.
Yeah.
Did you try to stop before? Yes, it went like you start up. I don't know.
Okay.
But he says he sees doctors and he has, he couldn't tell me the name, but some type of someone that his doctor sends to his house once a month.
Okay.
He doesn't, and the main reason he doesn't want to help us because he don't want to be on probation.
Right.
But he'll do it himself.
Okay. All right, Reginald Robinson. So, Mr. Robinson, just recalling your case on 20 CRB 00025, that is a charge of a disorderly conduct as an M4. Your plea was no contest, correct?
Yeah.
It'll be a $50 fine plus cost. You're free to go to the clerk's office. Take care. Yes, sir. Yeah, Ms. Black, it was reduced to that,
Yes.
the M4, and Ms. Ivy spoke with him, and all right. Devin Crenshaw. Mr. Crenshaw, good morning. Mr. Crenshaw, this is 20 CRB 00049, where they're alleging that there was an obstruction of official business, as well as improperly handling the firearm. The firearm charge is a felony of the 4th degree, where you're looking at 6 to 18 months and a $5,000 fine. And then the obstruction is a misdemeanor, but we would keep both of those cases together so you're not juggling 2 courts.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes, come on up.
They just put this file on my desk, and I believe that is what also gets sent downtown. As well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then we have 20 TRD 00202 from January 14th. All of these the same. That's a driving under suspension, failing to stop at 2 stop signs, speeding, improper passing, hazardous passing zones, reckless operation, as well as a hit skip. The obstruction of official business is alleging that you did flee from police officers after causing a traffic accident on January 14th. And then the felony charge is alleging that you did have on your person a firearm, January 14, 2020, a loaded firearm, Titan Tiger 38 Special, in a motor vehicle that was accessible to the operator and or passenger. And it looks like that obstruction of official business, they may even elevate that to a felony of the 5th degree, where you're looking at up to 12 months in prison and a $2,500 fine. All right, how old are you, sir? 20 years old, all right. How long have you been in the East Cleveland jail? All right. Did you speak to Mr. Humphrey in regard to the option to have the preliminary hearing? You recall that? Counsel, on behalf of Mr. Crenshaw.
Your Honor, after talking to Mr. Crenshaw this time, he's going to enter a plea of not guilty. We will waive the preliminary hearing, and we would ask to be heard on bond, Your Honor.
All right, so waiving the hearing is basically moving this case from this court to the court downtown. I'm going to set a court date for you, which will be Tuesday, January 21st, the 12th floor of the Justice Center at 9:45, but I'll give you a reminder. And on these other charges, we're going to send them down to the county.
So I'll be able to bond out and then go to court?
Yes, sir. You have a right to that. I'm going to speak to that amount in just 1 second. All right. Detective, are you here to speak on Mr. Crenshaw's bond, or?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
We're requesting $30,000 surety bond. He does have a 2-cycle arrest record, one to include her conviction for carrying concealed weapon.
All right. So, Mr. Crenshaw, have you had a chance to talk with anybody about a bond? So basically what happens is when I set the bond, it's a cash bond or surety bond, which means, of course, you could pay that entire amount. Or you can employ a bail bondsman who would pay a portion of that, and they would guarantee that you would make it down to court. So you can be released by either cash or surety bond at this time. You understand that? All right. Counsel?
Your Honor, after talking to Mr. Crenshaw regarding his ability to pay, we would be asking for a 5,000 10% bond. Your Honor, I would ask this court to take into consideration there's no allegation that he's ever been convicted of a violent crime. This crime does not have any violence in nature involved, and he's only got a 2-cycle arrest history.
All right, so Mr. Crenshaw, I have to balance a few things, not only the request from the city as well as the defense, but also the offense itself. Looks like the main thing that we have here is the presence of the firearm and then the reckless operation, the way you were driving through the street.
I believe Officer McDowell has something he wants to add.
Officer,
If you
come on
don't
up.
mind, Your Honor,
Yep.
I was there on that day, this incident. I wish that you keep the bond the same. The gentleman rammed trying to flee from me, not knowing. He hit a innocent bystander in a van carrying 3 children.
Okay.
And then after that, he jumped out the vehicle instead of checking on the welfare of the kids and the driver. He took off running through the backyards of innocent people, residents that stay in the city of East Cleveland.
All right. So, Mr. Crenshaw, again, with everything, I have to balance everything that's being told to me. A couple of things that's important beyond here is that whatever bond I set for you, once you get out, make sure you appear at court on Tuesday so that that judge doesn't give you a no bond or make your bond higher. And then keep in mind also, whatever bond I set now, but I am responsible for getting the case from here to the county. That county judge can do whatever they want with the bond because it's their case until the entire end. It's just my case right now. So based on everything I'm being told, without having any opinion about or any ruling on what occurred, I will keep the bond at that 30,000 surety. Good luck. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Latia Jenkins. Ms. Jenkins, 20 CRB 00052 is disorderly conduct. Ms. Jenkins, how long have you been in the jail? Since yesterday? So a day. And they're saying that on or about January 15th, you did disturb the good order of the city of East Cleveland by using obscene and profane language at a particular office and lobby on Euclid, where there were several people present, including a small child. You're going to enter a plea of not guilty right now. That's my understanding. Do you live in the city? All right. So what court? Your pretrial will be next Thursday, the 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Just make sure you do not miss court. And it'll be a $5,000 personal bond. So you will be released today. Just make sure you make it to court next week, all right? You can have a seat. Oh, yeah. Gary Jones. 20 CRB 00051. This is from January 14th, where they're alleging that there was a prowling offense, stating that you were on private property on East 133rd Street without a purpose or permission to be there. And then there's a charge of obstruction of official business because also on this date of January 14th, you prevented, obstructed, or delayed the performance of the public official by fleeing from the officers on foot. These are both misdemeanors of the first degree, where you could face up to a $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail. Mr. Jones, how long have you been in jail? Where do you live? On St. Clair. Who do you live with? All right, so we're going to maintain not guilty right now. Court date will be next Thursday. Your pretrial is going to be next Thursday also, which again is January 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. So I'm starting off with these offenses, giving you a little bit of trust and trusting that you're going to come back to court. When you don't do that, warrants issued for your arrest and you sit in jail until we resolve your case. So don't put yourself in that position. You'll be released on a $5,000 personal bond, and make sure between now and the time you come back to court, at the very least, don't be on anybody's property without the permission to be there. You understand? You understand that? You have to say yes or no. I mean, that yes or no is like determining whether you leave or not. Like if you can't tell me you won't do what they're alleging you're doing, then I wouldn't let you go. I would hold you until we get the case resolved. All right. So make sure you speak up when it's important. So no entry on private property, and I'll see you next week. You have a seat. Jeremy Furline. 20 CRB 00047. This is from January 12th, alleging a domestic violence offense. Morning, sir. Mr. Furline, how long have you been in the jail?
Sunday.
This complaint is alleging that on or about January 12th, you did knowingly cause physical harm to a Miss Nims by putting your hand or putting her in a chokehold. And there were scratches on her back leg and groin area. Mr. Furline, where do you live? What city do you live in?
East Cleveland.
All right. And the two of you live together?
Unfortunately.
Wasn't it your niece?
Yes, that's my niece.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, it's my understanding from him that the niece no longer stays there. They were living together. He and his wife maintained this residence. The niece stayed there briefly, but it's my understanding that as of today, the niece has left that residence.
Ms. Black, any information in that regard?
Number Black Victims Advocate for the record, Your Honor. Call the number that's in the report and left a message.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you if you can give Ms. Black, who works with the victim side of it and the prosecutor, a valid number, then that will help me with the process of letting you out of jail.
Candace herself doesn't have a number. My wife share a 330 number.
Yeah, that's important. We want to call your wife to make sure that the residence does not have the alleged victim there. That's our key.
I have Candace's number is 614-957-6002.
Can you give him? Can you give Ms. Black your wife's number?
My wife's number is 330-623-3550.
I got that.
Okay.
That was on his thing. I wasn't gonna call
Okay.
his number.
Do I have permission to speak on the matter, sir?
Well, right now, your attorney wants to maintain not guilty for you. So my main issue right now is giving, setting everything up so that I'm able to release you. And one of the big things about that is I have to make sure the alleged victim has an opportunity to at least know that you're going to be released. So that's where we're going to have everybody involved with at least contacting your wife to find out if your niece is not there. If she's not there, then you'll be in good shape. How long has your niece lived with you?
Less than 2 months.
Okay. And as far as you know, there's another place that she can go because we're hearing that she's not there.
Places to go. She just chooses not to live with her family.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all. I don't want you to say anything else on that. So if we can at least verify that the niece is not there, then I'll be willing to set a bond that he can get out on today. All right.
I'll call right now, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. You had any other questions, sir? Until we figure this part out. You don't have to speak on the event. We're going to do that when you come back.
I just request that I make all the money, and I just had my third set of twins. We don't got a lot of money, and I don't know how much this bond is going to be.
All right.
And I spent 5 days in the hospital out of work, and I spent 5 days in jail. And the way my year and my paychecks rolled over, I got paid 1 week early, and that was only a $200 check. I went 600 and like 70 something.
Well, let me do this. Let us find out what's going on with the young lady, and we'll address that when I call you back up. So I'm okay with all that information. My main concern right now is that everybody's safe in the event that you get out. So let me figure that out. Well, see, the thing is, right there that's where we'd have to stop. Without this case being resolved on a not guilty, I can't let you go back where she is. Somebody has to be gone. Either you, if she doesn't have a place to go, you would have to have another place to go, or she is. Right. So that's why we're going to look into it, because other than that, I don't know anything about it other than the allegation that you put in a chokehold. I can't let you out and hope you don't put in another chokehold. So I'm just saying, so let us work that part out. And that's why we don't even need to discuss anything. We'll work that part out because my indication is that she's not there. If that's the case, we're in good shape. I am going to order you, though, when you go back, she can't come back. You can't have any contact. You can't call her, any of that stuff everything will be dealt with through the court until the case is over. All right, so you can have a seat.
Your Honor, we have a Bernard Smith. I can go get the information if I can get the information. I can go call before you come off the bench, and I'll get the information from the bench.
Bernard Smith's your last. You want me to call? You want me? Because I know we had the other young lady here on that one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we resolved Bernard Smith's case? Is it resolved? Is it resolved, Mr. Smith, or is it not guilty?
He can go
I'll go make some calls.
All right.
Your Honor, that's on me. I haven't seen a police report.
You'll call me last?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Marquise. Yeah, you'll be brought back up. All we have to do is clear that, and we'll be okay. So let me. Right, that's the route we're gonna go through too. All right, Mr. Donner, right? 20A00050. You spoke with the defense attorney? We have a felony of the 3rd degree weapon under disability where they're alleging that on or about January 15th, you did knowingly have in your immediate control in a motor vehicle multiple firearms. The disability, which would indicate that there's a previous conviction, which would keep you from being able to have weapons on or about your person. And the way they charge that, like I mentioned, is a felony of the 3rd degree, 9 to 36 months, and a $10,000 fine. And then there's a felony of the 5th degree, obstruction of official business, 6 to 12 months, and a $2,500 fine, where they are about that 15th day of January. You did prevent and or delay or obstruct the public official in their authorized act while you fled on foot from the police officers. You spoke with the defense attorney, Mr. Humphrey. You said that. Mr. Humphrey, on behalf of Mr. Donner, how are we proceeding with the preliminary hearing?
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Donald would hopefully not guilty, waive the preliminary hearing, and we would request to be heard on that, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Donner, waiving the hearing basically means the case will be sent from here to the county. You understand that? And with that being said, I'm going to set a court date for you for January 21st, 2020, 9:45 on the 12th floor of the Justice Center. We'll give you a reminder. All right, to the issue of bond.
Your Honor, after talking to Mr. Donner and his ability to pay, would be requesting a 10% bond, Your Honor.
Okay.
We're requesting the 30,000. Reason being, he did flee from the accident with Mr. Donner. Also, the weapons that were found inside the vehicle by BCI, and also when he booked in, he gave a false name of Dwayne Williams instead of the original name that he had. He does have several warrants with the county for probation violation also.
Did you know you had warrants out? Okay.
That's probably why he gave us.
Is he a co-defendant to the other case?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Donner, I'm going to set a bond, but of course, you know, with the warrants being out, they're going to put a stop to that and request your presence. So, do you have active cases already with the warrant, or is it a probation?
Probation violation.
All right. So,
Parole.
okay. All right. So I'll keep it at the 30,000 at that point. You know, other than that, you got a lot of stuff to deal with, but be careful going forward. All right. Good luck. You can have a seat. Jody Davis. All right. This case, the newest case I have for you is a 19 CRB 00331 from March 6th. There was a possession charge. It looks like the city is dismissing that. Then we have 17 CRB 00394, which was misconduct involving public transportation. That's going to be dismissed. How long have you been in jail?
6 months already.
6 months?
Yes.
So you were transferred here?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you do 6 months for? Okay. Which judge sent you to jail? Was it Cleveland? A Cleveland judge? All right. So basically what's going to happen here, based on, it looks like most likely because of all that's going on, all these cases will be dismissed. They're older cases. If you've just done 6 months, obviously paid a debt to society, so we're not going to add on to that. These will be dismissed. You'll be released shortly, all right? Good luck going forward. Take care. You didn't give it to me. Mr. Davis, come back up. I was given another file. I'm sorry. There's one that you were going to resolve, but we can still resolve that. 19 CRB 00441 criminal trespassing. And again, this is an older case. You just were transferred from doing the 6 months?
Yes.
All right. And they were saying in this case, you were at a particular location in the emergency stairwell. And you were going to enter a plea of no contest to that, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'll accept the no contest plea with a finding of guilt. There won't be any fine or any cost. I'm going to still give you that break. Try and get you a chance to get back on your feet, all right? Take care, sir. All right, then we have enough. So, Mr. Humphrey, Ms. Hales, right? She's here. She didn't get a chance to speak with you, but she would like to. Maybe we can get the case resolved. That's why I held that one. And then I know we have Mr. Bernard Smith. Is Mr. Smith still on probation?
On both cases.
Okay. All right, 19 CRB 00042, the City of East Cleveland versus Bernard Smith. Mr. Smith, that case I called is a probation case, and then we also have 15 TRC 01830. Mr. Smith, how long have you been in jail? 10 days? All right. All right, Miss Ivory or Mr. Medley, can you speak to the domestic violence case and what Mr. Smith has or has not done?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mark Medley, he's in probation department. He initially was in assigned to probation for failing the breathalyzer test. And he was ordered to do assessment and comply with the terms of probation. He was given 175 days and he was suspended for 180 days. He suspended 175. He served 5 days. And although he did report to probation, most of the time he failed to get the assessment. And, at this point, Your Honor, my recommendation would be to send him to service 175 days.
Smith, why didn't you do everything that we had you that I assigned for you on probation? What made you think it was terminated?
I don't even record that. So that's not recording Miss Ivory. I don't record that.
Okay, Miss Ivory.
Yes, Your Honor, this is on the 19 CRB 00042. Mr. Smith, it's a domestic violence case that was amended to assault, Your Honor. Mr. Smith never reported to probation to get signed up on the new case. A letter was sent to him as we agreed we would start doing in 2019, giving individuals a second chance to report to probation for the additional interview. That letter went out on April 9th, giving him a new assignment date of April 22nd. At 2 o'clock, he again did not report to probation.
All right. So, Mr. Smith, it's interesting because I have 2 cases for probation violation that I can give you 6 months in jail on. And then the new case I have, it looks like you're entering a plea of not guilty, which is 20 CRB 00026, alleging that you committed a domestic violence offense by well, actually, what they have here is that you aggressively pushed Ms. Johnson, who is the subject of the first case. And then they're also stating that you violated a protection order because you weren't supposed to be in her presence based on that last case. So, Mr. Smith, you still live with your father?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Smith, so what have you been doing since last time? Are you working? I mean, what have you been doing since last time you've been here?
I still do my detailing, but I just got a job for first line defense security on 45th and Woodland scrapyard. This will be my second week working.
So they hired you with these DVs on your record, huh? Right? Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna call your job or nothing like that, but I'm just saying.
And I didn't have to. I've been in here 10 days, so I called off. So I start again tomorrow. It's my shift Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
All right.
4:30 to 12. This will be my second week.
All right, so Mr. Smith, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna accept the not guilty on your new DV case so we can get that case resolved, but I do want to make you very well aware that the percentage chances of you going to jail based on violating probation is pretty high, 90 to 99%. The question is how much jail time, and that will depend upon you listening to my order, coming back to court, not getting into any more trouble. Those things will help in reducing the jail time, but you can't walk out of court and refuse to do probation or forget to do probation. I mean, that's just not part of the program. And then, I just believe I don't have all my details, but I believe I tried to look out for you pretty much when you were coming to court before. So there's only so much that I can do as far as that part. I can only look out so much. You have to look out for yourself, which means you have to listen to and adhere to the orders of the court. So I'm going to respect the not guilty at this time. I'm going to set this for next week. I'm going to set you for next Thursday at 9:30 because you've been downstairs in jail for 10 days. What? Yeah, matter of fact, I'll just put them on probation docket. Okay, so it'll be 1:30. Is she here now? Is she here? Okay. Yeah. But they're doing that not guilty. I remember her case. So I'm gonna set it for if we need to have a trial on their probation docket. I don't think we will, but if we do, we'll do that. But it'll be 1:30. So Ms. McCullough, can you let Ms. Johnson know there's no contact? Has she left? Is she still living with? Was she living with you? Were you and her living with your father?
No.
Okay. So you two live separately, right?
Right.
All right. So you can't be around her, but I said that before, last year, and you two. But it's really I don't get mad at the violations. Well, I try not to carry any anger with me at all about what happens around here because it's just it's life, and life goes on, and these are moments in time. We can't let it destroy us. But I realize that when you're in a relationship with somebody and a judge tells you no contact, and I don't really know you and you know her and y'all been together it's hard to listen to that order. I understand that, but you have no choice. You understand? It's like, what I'm saying? It's like going, if you love your job, you go to work. So you don't lose it. If you like your freedom and you got a judge saying don't have contact, well, that's a violation of a protection order. You just don't do it because you don't want to sit in jail for 10 days. Nobody wants to sit in jail on a whim for 10 days. You know what I'm saying? It baffles me that you didn't do what you're supposed to do on probation and violated the protection order. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like coming to probation and talking with Miss Ivory every day saying, Miss Ivory, she and I want to get back together. Can we get before the judge? We want to work this out. That's a different way to do it because, hey, I don't know what's going on in your relationship, but you don't have to be in violation if you do it that way. All that to say, Mr. Smith, by the time you leave here today and come back Thursday, I expect there to be no contact, obviously no more mess between the two of you. If you're working, be to your benefit to bring me in any type of proof of that, all those things, and we'll see where it goes at this point.
Your Honor, there's a bond and a return to court date that you already said.
It'll be next Thursday at 1:30, Ms. McCullough.
She has a question because she did come into court the last time and state that she no longer wanted the TPO.
Right.
So
Did she do that? Okay.
yeah, she did. Because she said because of her
Her illness,
medical
right.
condition, and he's been helping her a lot. So
Yeah, she even said that last time,
That's what she said. That's what she was.
just the other day.
She didn't say that on the phone last night.
Right.
But she did say it.
I do remember that. Last week she said
Yeah.
that. All right, so Mr. Smith, that helps you in that regard. So, I'm gonna still let you go and all that stuff, but now we got to deal with the fact that you had two probation officers and you forgot all about them and forgot all about me, trying to look out for you and give me breaks. So, half the battle is won. I'm not going to hold you to that violation because now, thanks to Miss McCullough, being professional, because she could have kept her mouth closed and just let you sink on that. But I do recall now. So the young lady's not trying to play you on that. There's a return. He just walked in. So I'm gonna release you. You'll be back next week, and we'll see where it goes, Mr. Smith. I want the best for you. You know what I mean? I've been trying to get that for you for a while, so we got to figure out how to do that. But we can't do anything if you don't show up to probation. All right. You can have a seat. You'll be released. Oh, I'm sorry. $10,000 personal bond.
Thank you.
All right.
And no contact remain.
No, I'm gonna ease up on the no contact because I forgot
No contact vacated.
Look, no contact vacated, but no physical contact. No fighting, no arguing, no pushing. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially if you're trying to help her out. No, I got one more, two more, three more. But I think it's just a codependence.
Yeah.
It's like you can have a seat. You'll be released. It's like a friendship. It's like it's a boy. You know what I'm saying? So they drink together, kick it together.
Exactly.
It's nice.
With your kids.
Baby Fourth, can you let Father know he'll be released?
It's interesting. He didn't remember probation, but he remembered me.
Right. Well, you're memorable. You got that effect on folks. That's right. So we have. Yeah. Who's talking about the guy in jeans? I guess I can do that. So.
So the regular order, but I still wouldn't.
People. Let me see what that guy say. The debate about court being public. I don't know. Seeing that would be an easy one to think about. Almost caught you there. Free the innocence. California. All right, 19 CRB 01481, the City of East Cleveland versus Raheem Overby. So Overby is charged with violating a protection order. And it looks like they're indicating that on or about December 18th, 2019, there was an order that was violated while you were operating a vehicle with a Miss Addison inside your vehicle. The order was issued by Maple Heights Court. We are maintaining not guilty at this time and setting this out for February 13th at 9:30. Is that your understanding, sir?
Yes.
All right, we'll give you that reminder, and we'll see you back then. David Warford.
Okay. What was the next date on the week?
The 13th of February at 9:30. All right, Ms. Hales, come on up. Counsel, good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Brooks for the defense.
All right. So, counsel, it looks like we're maintaining not guilty on these at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I have, just so everyone's aware, 19 CRB 01294, September 21st, alleging that there was telephone harassment by way of text messages to Monique Sharp after being asked to stop. That was on or about the 21st day of September. And then there's also aggravated menacing by stalking, again, with the telephone harassment. Aggravated menacing stating that on or about September 21st, you did cause, Ms. Hales caused Ms. Hill to believe that you were going to cause serious physical harm, or it could have been a Llewellyn Hill. I'm not sure if it's a him or her. Coming to the residence on Sheldon. And there was also an involvement with Ms. Sharp at that particular place. So that's an aggravated menacing by stalking, again, stating that you were coming to the residence of, it looks like Mr. Hill on Sheldon, waiting outside his home, waiting for his then girlfriend and making threats. Then we have an October 5th, 2019, a 19 CRB 01287, where they were alleging that when you were apprehended on that particular date of October 5th, that you had a green leafy substance in your presence believed to be marijuana. And then we have 19 CRB 01295, menacing by stalking, and that particular one is stating that that occurred on or about September 28th of 2019, again being at the residence on Sheldon when the young lady Ms. Sharp was present, taking pictures of her vehicle, posting them on social media, as well as making threats on social media. So, counsel, again, at this point, you are entering pleas of not guilty, correct?
That is correct.
As of right now, Ms. Hales, I'm going to order that there be no contact between you and that young lady, whether it's social media, in person, or through other parties. Counsel, have we worked out a pretrial date?
Not yet.
All right, Madam Prosecutor, we normally going to set this for 2 weeks out. Would that be sufficient? Okay, change whatever date. All right, we're going to do February 6th.
That works.
All right, we'll see you on that date at 9:30. But again, no contact with the alleged victim at this time.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Ms. Black?
Oh, Your Honor. Mr. Furline.
Yes.
Deborah Black for the record, Your Honor. Mr. Furline, I called the number for the victim again, and it turns out it's not her number, and they had gotten a message that the victim hadn't called back.
Okay.
That's Miss Marquita Sullivan's number, her friend. She's not at the house. She's with Marquita Sullivan.
Okay, so he can go back to the house
Go back to his
safely.
home.
Okay.
And she said she'll make sure she gets it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So what are you gonna give him, Your Honor?
I'm gonna give him a $10,000 personal bond
Okay,
so we can get him out of here.
and he's
With-
gonna return to court.
Did we say this thing? We said for next time, for Mr. Furline's case? Did we already do that? We'll set it for January 30th.
Okay. 1:30?
Not like that, sir. I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'm writing. You really think you can just get up and like really? Miss Black, the 30th at 9:30.
9:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Is all hers? No, this is hers. This is the other one. Ms. Humphrey, did you assist the gentleman in the back or? You have a court term? Okay.
Don't do this, Your Honor.
I need to see Furline's case so I can set his bond. Where's it? Right here. All right, and then on Furline, we're doing the $10,000 personal bond at January 30th.
Under the last bit.
Yeah.
There's a backstory.
Oh, I know what the backstory is.
All right. So we are good until this afternoon. Sir, you want to say something to the court? Come on up to the microphone.
I came in here to ask you, can I get my warm block released so I can go get my license? I never had a license before in my life. Cleveland just released my warm block papers to me so I can get my license going, but y'all saying I owe y'all money and I feel like
Other than saying, do you owe us money?
yes, they say I owe y'all.
So it's
money.
not we're saying that you owe us some money.
All right, but I did time in y'all jail for nothing, and I feel like I shouldn't have been there because y'all pulled me over in Cleveland
Well,
a while ago, and I went downtown and I went to prison for the same charges that y'all charged me for.
give me a second.
You let me
How old
go
are
on
you?
that.
How old are you?
I'm 44.
All right,
I
so-
never had a license.
So first of all, when you say y'all, I don't work for the police and I don't work for the prosecutor, so I didn't pull you over. I don't think anybody in this room probably was involved with pulling you over or charging you or any of that.
Well, none of y'all pulled me over.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta come right when you're asking for information. Warford, let me see what he has. So you say you were pulled over, you shouldn't have been in jail, you did time, you throwing a lot at me. I don't even.
You let me go for it. I did prison time.
So I let you go, but the system didn't let you go.
The system didn't
So
let
that
me
means
go
I must have didn't.
downtown.
Okay,
You
so
let me go for the same charges that downtown charged me with. Y'all charged me with the same thing. I sent most.
lower it down. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
Said I couldn't do it.
All right, we're
He
done.
said, "Be quiet."
That's all right. That's all right. I'm done. I got. Yeah, that's cool. You don't even have to. you know, I mean, I appreciate it. Mr. Harris is asking me for a favor, but he's not even asking me in an appropriate way or talking to me with any type of respect. So I got some things to do this morning. I'm gonna leave you with that. You can put it in writing, whatever you need. I can review it. Maybe you can express it in writing better than you did just now. No point in sending nobody else to jail for nothing like that.
What amazes me?
Interesting.
You know what's so amazing? That when you walk into a courtroom, I don't care what you, the very nature of the setting in the courtroom
Absolutely.
should speak to you some kind of way.
It's,
You're
it's,
sitting high, looking low.
it's amazing.
Just the stance of the setting should say, okay, I'm gonna chill out for a minute.
Absolutely.
Figure something out.
Absolutely.
No, they walk in with a sense of entitlement.
Mhm.
Yeah, when we don't even know what you're talking about.
Look, I didn't even get his name.
Right.
I'll dumb it down.
I
When you get to
remember
a
his
piece of hunting, when you ever come into anybody like that, it's never gonna end up well.
It's never gonna end up well.
Especially if you're looking up.
Making
You gotta look up at somebody.
Making accusations.
Yeah.
It's never gonna end well.
It started bad and never got better.
You know, Pat was given an opportunity to reset and try it again.
I did. I tried to give him a chance to.
And he just ranked it up and got what he was
4 years of no driver's license, I started to
Hey,
feel for him, and then he
hey,
opened his mouth, and I'm like,
But
there's a reason you
one
don't have a
that
driver's
arrested
license.
Mark handcuffed him, and I know that rascal flew in the car.
Hey, Vincent was about to pick him up.
And you had that.
See,
He was
it kind of looked familiar.
He was bad as hell.
So he from our neighborhood. Wow. Look, and then get up here and treat me like that.
It ain't never ain't changed.
Ain't never changed.
Look, I let him release. I let him out, but they sent him to jail. That means you supposed to jail. It's probably a felony charge.
But see, that's the kind of knucklehead coming over power thing.
It is, you know, just
That's what I'm saying. That's why
and you know, Miss Black.
you don't go off.
All right, I try. Yep, that's what I do. I try to still give you a little bit of dignity, but I'm not gonna listen to that mess. That's
Put it in
ridiculous.
writing.
Put it in writing, because obviously you're not doing well.
Right.
with
Right.
Right.
You can go off, that's the kind of clown that walks in that day. She literally was telling people, after he said, where's that bride? Right, right. She got to she was parked behind her car at his house. She's a drag. But he's still pissed off until 14.
The first offenders program.
Ain't never had.
With mental
So
treatment.
I've been trying
I
to
mean,
run out.
jacking her up.
And if that she can produce that, fine, we can see about it.
Because
She got double.
Because I think getting convictions and losing that job, then all she's gonna have is free time to ruminate on all this.
And she's done a lot of ruminating without free time.
Right.
She created a fake Facebook page just to talk about that.
Yeah. But there's
So
some
she's mad at him, and so she put stuff out about him. Like she went on the court website and pulled up all like his civil judgments and stuff, and then screenshotted it and posted it. And then she's focused on doing something to her. She waits out. She went to the sportsman, and we know these things because she tells them. That she went to the sportsman looking for them, but they weren't there.
No, I mean, her acknowledgement to me was more, I had a breakdown, I need help, like this really messed me up. It wasn't fighting.
And I believe that. We believe that he played her. He started off seeing her, then he started seeing the other woman, but we think he was still sleeping with her while he was dating the other one.
Right.
Then he died.
Yeah.
So we understand that, but her reaction to it is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so she got to stop that.
Yep.
All right. See what's happening.
All right. Do we have a separate trial this afternoon?
Yeah, Hamilton. I was gonna say Hamilton, the victim on that one said her grandmother died. The funeral's today, but we can do a disorderly or something on him if he's willing to take it. Because she's saying they hadn't had any more issues. Charles Hamilton, right there. Dante Daniels. Let me see.
What flavor disorder? Right. Yeah.
Let me read it again and I'll see. What will he take? So we don't have to keep coming back.
Is that the only thing is that the only
No. Then there's Daniels, and then this is an officer case. So let's see who- oh.
Cole's here, Cole's physical here. So.
What's the charge on that one?
So resisting obstruction. All kinds of good stuff. I think, yeah, I remember him having more than one thing.
So I'll talk to them, and then maybe we
Yeah.
can get rid of the,
I've seen Cole today, so I know he's.
yeah, maybe if we can get
Price
rid of
don't
the
work here anymore. But
assault, maybe if we can do like, resisting an obstruction,
okay, all right.
maybe, I can't guarantee,
I
I don't know
know.
where this guy's at.
Hey.
It's gonna be a feat today, man. 6 things set for trial.
Well, hopefully, I don't think. Well, no, it's not 6. But they had next to it is 6.
There's these 4.
God damn it, you serious?
Yeah.
I don't think I looked at the thing right there. This morning, let me see. It's like 3.
Yeah, I looked at Heather's sheet over there.
Oh shit, let me look at my stuff. Let's see. Hey, that's preview.
There's 6. One of them's 2 separate cases.
Well, Dante Daniels, I don't see that one going forward. This is unless Khalil show up. Khalil usually shows up in court. We'll see.
Charles Hamilton's not going forward. No victim. And there's Marcus Harris, Nair Jacobs.
Nicole May. I don't think that one's going forward.
Hot tamale motherfuckers ain't coming down here.
They talk a good game.
Well, they allege they all had it on video, and we waited 2 months for video, but never got it.
They new guys are a mess, man.
I mean, Nair Jacobs is a 2.5-year-old case.
1, 2, 3. See on my docket, they ain't saying that.
You got Marcus Harris on there?
Nope. I got Charles. Yeah, I got Marcus Harris. Marcus Harris, Charles Hamilton, Diarrhea, Sabon Jacobs, whatever the hell that is. That's 3.
Then Nicole May.
That's 4.
And then Dante Daniels.
And Dante Davis. You got this dude on here. Why not? They can have, okay. So
It
with me
shows-
looking at the docket, it says continue.
Yeah, that's a trial that was continued from last time.
Gotcha. She shouldn't put that. She should put trial, not
Right.
continue. All right.
We can try all 6 fucking cases. I can be out here by 4:30.
Well, hopefully. Well, I'm betting.
I've been here before, but I'm pretty good at working stuff out there, trial.
Yeah, it's I wish somebody teach Jocelyn that shit. Wow.
No, I mean, I also know that from being a former prosecutor, that victims are just as terrified to take that stand as defendants are. So come a day of trial, it's put up or shut up for everybody.
Yeah. All right.
We set back up, what, 1:15?
Yeah. Good. All right. Good. Mrs. Wilford, how are you? How's your day going? What's doing? How's the things doing? How's it going?
It's better. So, get to the place, freaking Care credit card wasn't accepted.
Huh?
And I'm like, it has a zero balance, it's $500 available. It wasn't accepted because I didn't have a credit card, so I had to take money out of the account. I got to figure out a way to put it back. And
Oh, why'd you just reschedule it?
because I just want this freaking thing over with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I was fine in the machine.
Were you?
So, I was. I was. I had spasms all throughout it. You know, you can't move though, so that was a little rough, but I was fine with the space. I just closed my eyes and tried to go with the noise. Like, okay.
They didn't play the music?
I didn't have any music now.
Usually they play a little something. Did you have it on headphones?
No. He gave me earplugs.
Did it
put like some I'm gonna call them pillows, but they weren't the pillow size.
What did they ask you? Were you claustrophobic?
See, I don't think he did. He asked me if I'd ever had it done. He explained it was a balance jackhammer. It gave me a little call button in case I had anxiety. I guess he pulled me out.
Yeah,
no,
I had on like a little. I was like, I'm claustrophobic, and I was even on pain meds, so I still was like, I'm claustrophobic. They gave me little headphones to listen to music. I was cool.
Oh, no, did they give you a little call button?
I don't know. Probably. But yeah,
like
so.
One of the things like when you're in the hospital and you can self-medicate, push the button kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me one of those in case I needed to be pulled out.
I'm still concerned why they didn't take the Care First as a medical thing card.
I know. And I went online, as soon as I came out, it says zero balance, $500 available.
They said it didn't work, or they just don't take that type of card?
No, they take the card. They even have like the application sticker, so like you can apply for one.
So why didn't you call Care, whatever the fuck it's called?
I guess because I was just kind of in that mode, like, fuck. And I just.
Baby, why didn't you just call the people? You should just call them and been like, hey, my card ain't working. Why?
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah, I probably should have.
Yeah.
How's your day going?
It's going in circles. Hey, did the guy come shovel the driveway?
Yeah, because there's a lot of snow out there.
All right now. Good for him. You know, I wonder if.
Good $175 worth that we use more.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, he got us. That was good. It's probably going to snow like shit in March. Oh, shit. Yeah, we didn't get it. It'd be snow all over the damn place.
Just not snowing now. It's of course, just blurry and the ground is wet.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stay and stick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wonder if that girl I wonder if Shawn Michaels' mom gonna file her state income tax, knowing that it's getting intercepted by me. You know, it's just funny, that you gotta look at because I can see her. I don't really know, but I can just see how just knowing people in general, just to be doing shit just because, it's like. Yes.
Well, it'll come back. It's like the state comes back at us, so it'll come back at us.
Yeah, at some point. Shit. What was I about to say? God. All right, let me go. Oh, your omelet was good. Now let me go eat my lunch. And then mommy.
Good. Yeah, I just had it for lunch. I didn't want to eat it for breakfast and then be in that machine and my stomach is fast enough.
Yeah.
So I made lunch.
And yeah, because I looked at my little half an omelet. Like, what the? How'd she make a half a? You get this half an omelet from.
No. I figured if I gave you the whole one, you would say, I ain't gonna eat this whole thing.
I mean, it's cool. I was saying, how did she make a half an omelet? That's what I was thinking to myself. I'm like, oh, she must have took half of it. I'm like, how the hell she get a half an omelet?
You are funny. You know, I made the whole one, and I thought about the whole thing, and I was like, she's gonna say, I ain't gonna eat that whole thing.
All right.
Leave it here. I'll eat it tomorrow because I know you ain't gonna eat it. That's what I heard in my head.
Oh, okay. On that note, I'm out. 5,000, G.
Yeah, look, so now I gotta go down to Cleveland Clinic and take my MRI results. The guy gave me a disc, and I said, oh, is this for me, or are you gonna send it over? He's like, no, since we're not part of Cleveland Clinic, they don't want to send anything for fear of like viruses and stuff.
Okay.
So now I gotta drive down and take the disc to them.
To who, your doctor's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, this just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody's testing me, baby. They ain't gonna get me, but they're trying.
All right.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye, honey.
All right.
Steak. No, Miss Ma'am. Darn it. Steak.
Okay.
Robert, so somebody really have it out for me.
What?
What's the name? Young Ralph. You want to that gave me his mom? You want to what? She told me, she was like, hey, I didn't even know someone was up. She was like, I mean, somebody, she got work is going on, calling you a hoe, you sleeping out. Like, yeah. Yeah, work. You a hoe. You a hoe. You
Baker Mayfield beer drinking gift.
suspended?
Yes, for today. 1 or 2 days a month.
Where are your other days?
I own a law firm downtown.
Oh, okay.
downtown.
Is Willis still the prosecutor?
She's the law director. Heather McCullough is the prosecutor.
This other thing that is whatever, one crop doctor.
6 cases set for trial this afternoon.
Now, you know this gentleman?
Nope.
I'm on Stolarski.
Zach Humphrey.
He's like, he got all this together. Who you here for?
I got a pre-trial for a guy named Klein. He's just a speeding ticket.
File on it.
There was somewhere there. He gonna come in. There you go.
There one o'clock set?
I think 1:30 is when I bring so.
Yeah.
You get to look at the speeding ticket.
Oh, seen it.
Okay, that's the entirety of the prosecutor's file. Yep.
You know you were there. Well, y'all talking about it anyway.
I can lie to you there.
You know, yeah. Talk about that.
It's just a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Normally. You go on that with an unsafe motor vehicle.
Right there.
Yeah, just like no points.
You want?
Oh, you got them there.
Oh, now you got it.
All right. Well, who you at?
Yeah. Klein.
Klein?
Speeding ticket.
Speed.
Huh?
It's a speeding ticket.
Oh, speeding. Okay. Is that with a C or a K?
K.
K. Yep.
Jacobs.
Nicole, I got you. And this one yours too, Z. Last name, brother.
Willis.
Empress, I got you, bro. Last name, brother. Harris. What the first name is Harris?
Marcus.
I got you, bro. Last name.
Thornton.
Thornton?
Yeah.
All right. Terrence?
Yes, sir.
Got you. Appreciate it. Hello, brother. Excuse me, last name, sir.
Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton. Charles? Yeah. I got you, sir. Oh my gosh, these kids we at Johnson, we ain't got it to 6.
Anything I can still prosecutor come?
You can just leave it right there, and then when she comes in, you just go and have a seat.
Okay.
No. I went to Wendy's. I need some jalapeno fries. What you do? Who? Jalapeno fries. On Wendy's. Where you go?
Jalapeno fries.
Jalapeno fries.
Take care now, man.
Yes, sir.
A couple of months. I'm about to blame Wendy. It's not even her fault. No, I'm talking about the BW3 thing, the Buffalo Wild Wings thing. I thought it was Wendy. I'm about to blame Wendy. It's not even her fault.
Blame me for what? Why?
Y'all went to BW3. Nobody asked me. I would have put in on it.
Put it on your own.
Because I asked for a lot. That's why.
You gonna pay for it. You gonna put it in.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So
You gonna put it in on me. And you can have a little something on. That's what put it in. You put it in a little something on.
Listen, y'all day. That's what it meant.
Yeah.
You still do mean
Y'all English language. That's what it means. Us. You want to put in on this? Add something a little too?
Damn! You do know that. I mean the same thing. I just know it.
Forget you, baby. Hey, I can't sit right here. Especially this person that's been sitting there. I'm catching his stupid.
That's why we proposed just to get it done. 17 days coming back down.
She was on his phone, 2 on the docket. 2 of the 2 new cases. There's two new cases on probation. Those are all- I know. Yeah.
What's up, Judge Dawson? What's going on?
There's a warrant out for Odell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One's on
For smacking that cop's ass down after the game.
the heck?
They issued it like an hour ago.
LSU.
After
LSU.
the
LSU.
national championship game. In the locker room. It's on video.
Oh, female?
No, male cop.
Okay. Oh,
The original charge is a sex crime. It's like a simple assault.
wow. So what they going? Now they gonna suspend him for 16 games. You know, it's Odell.
Right.
They suspend him for 16 games. Which they I'm sorry. What, they gonna trade him now?
Right.
This is what I'm looking for.
They pick me stupid. I don't know what's the name. How the hell did I know?
I assume the rest. That's the same thing you wait for the judge to call you up. If you have any issues, I'll call you back. Okay?
Appreciate it. Mm-hmm. What's going on with you? Man, 20 some odd. That's what's called staying out the way.
Yeah, man.
What you gotta do is you just get to get a rubber stamp in here with those. You can have all this stuff done.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and negotiate some of this.
What's his name? No, I remember him coming in before you. I feel like that's what. Yeah, answer that question. Okay, now we just need Heather. Let me say that before Zach.
Want to negotiate, Mikey?
I'll go ahead and lead you up to the CR.
I like it. You already offered it. You offered it.
Oh, yeah, he's a hot mess.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get involved in that. Oh, she told me that she wanted to fire. But I said that's got I'm not getting involved in that. But yeah, I mean, we weren't to the point of resolving anything.
Okay.
Fours or three? Are your coats draft what, threes or fours?
Threes.
57. Two. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All her old cases were probation terminated in 2016.
It was,
Yeah.
this was me and Wendy was just talking about. She told me, don't put all those old cases. He got the 2 new cases, 1 for both probation.
Last name.
Cross, CROFF.
Gotcha. I got you. Mhm. Mhm.
There's police sheets in all of these files. There's police sheets in all of these files. Empress Willis.
That's it.
That's it. All these worked out.
So what's the money usually after?
Okay, great. You sign that.
Those cases are already closed.
How long been here?
And these all have signatures. Remember working all these out.
My prosecutor was someone with. My prosecutor was someone with.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Do I? I do, I currently.
Just now. So you have no prior arrears? You have prior arrears?
So you got
How long is
no
That's 10 years?
tension. They had two different dates.
So they don't know. You don't remember? Technically. First and 10, then the option is 3 days in jail, or you do the.
Yeah, I did.
So the minimum. Yeah. So the program.
That's all.
Fine.
Been down here, but apparently I'm not.
Same thing.
Are you checking me?
Came up with 5. So he's gonna think of the OBI. This.
Yeah. Probably old money or something.
Other what cases here?
Dante Daniels.
Why am I here? I don't know. You were supervising it. Why am I here? But I'm taking money. Can't wait to see the shit. I'm not coming. Don't ask for no time off, please. I won't. Ever. I don't ever need it. Is downtown Olympus trip in there? No, sir. No, that killed me.
Did we get a whole price?
Yeah.
Croft.
We're trying. Yeah, yeah. I keep having just policeman target. You know, me and them gotta hit I don't know what kind of relationship, but they got a hard on. But it's just that simple, you know. Even when I'm doing right, I can't do right. They find some reason, some way, to put something on it. As you can see, the mystery, they climb through my baby mama window again. Before she can even open the door, they climbing through the window again. It's what mystery. People out here getting raped, killed, still. Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, but I want to take it to trial and everything, you know, I just ended up missing my court date, ended up having some things going on where I forgot I even had to even deal with these people. You know, I got financial issues going on. I don't know if they think they're going to get some money on me.
You can get
Yeah. So I don't think that would come up down here. This is the one where he ran from you guys on the plate.
Yeah, it gets around.
I have, because for your guys' portion, they charge, I think it was this thing, obstruct
Traffic. A tow has people.
Did you read that?
Gotcha.
Our discovery ads?
Who's the other one?
Yes, he shows up. Fred Forsyth.
Yeah.
I'll try to do one time.
Well, he's trying to do right now, we're trying to see.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, shoot, I don't
I went and printed them off for it. For Discovery.
Want to see?
Yeah.
That's the one I don't think.
Yeah, I think this is for.
Is he on your guy? What's up?
He's in.
Is he on yours?
She got a file on there, so I assume he is.
He's on my guy.
She put a file for him.
I got written up for you guys that night.
Right. Somebody must have told her once upon a time he was on it because she was so full of file. No, you just gonna put it there? Oh, who's that? Oh, that's something else. In the meantime, we can probably write it up.
Will we have to go on the record on people's?
I just got the discovery.
I thought he, since he was just getting a discovery today, probably just getting another day.
He was going to get it. You said he what?
Yeah.
He's just getting got a discovery today, so just be getting another day.
Yeah, you can take it out to Maurice.
Should I just ask him for extra?
If you're doing that, you got to do that on
Or
her.
you think there's no way to resolve it otherwise?
Yeah. I did it. We get a letter of how?
They trying to gang up on me.
We get a letter of how?
So who's the victim or other people? No, yeah, I remember she came, I've spoken to her since then, so she's. Right, okay. Doesn't mean she won't. Not willing. I say, well, she's not willing.
Oh, I was gonna go everybody's here.
Disorderly.
Minors.
Yeah. Well, she don't either. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Charles Hamilton.
Yeah.
We talked last time with the buses we had.
You're not getting me stuff.
Your case is set for trial. Your judge will assault misdemeanor of first degree. Consider you willing to offer you minor misdemeanor disorder. Several things about it.
When did I see
You wanna go? If we're just getting a new date to discuss. Oh, no, usually he does, especially if, yeah. Right.
They'll probably bring you back.
No, that's the case.
This is
Yeah. Okay, good. So, yeah. Let me talk to her, understand, right, let me talk to her and see if there's any way to resolve the discrepancy.
What's up, guys?
He wants to drive? Okay, we'll have to sit out for another day. No, well, then. Okay. So what happens in 11:25? That's when It probably is, because see, this was a trial date, he had to release court. Okay, so that's why this isn't a second trial. You'd be doing it. The maximum is 50. What he
Sorry, I had to sign.
They said they heard about it. Well, yeah.
That's the same thing that I and then you treat it down. No probation. Let's say you can come back.
I don't know. Yeah, no.
I'll let you know. So we go to- Keep on. Now, can't do that. Somebody was. Oh, that's who she was supposed to be subpoenaed for. Yeah. This chick. Okay. That she got subpoenaed. But I knew I'd seen her name on something. He was checking that, but I hadn't seen this chick. Yeah, and we probably doing it based on the conversation of her. Well, if you just talking, I want to ask you, did you have something that you like to tell me? And I know I've seen the name. They are. Okay.
Daniels. Wow. I'll be a defense attorney. That's not a prosecutor. Case is set for trial. As a result of that, they're willing to dismiss the assault. With regard to the officers back here, there was a arrest and obstruction. To dismiss the resistance. For a no contest with the obstruction of the conduct from so then they should come back later. I'm sure this will be done today. Some of the city code. No contest.
I see. Is a nurse. So, okay, she's wondering, is there a mediation possibility? Okay, I could take that to her. Is there an alternative for mediation? Like, because you know, these two are childhood friends, and family friends. Well, yeah, because I just don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her.
I got that.
We still haven't gotten the video. You're not a representative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They still haven't given us the video. Remember how they did? So they're probably gonna ask for another continuance.
Let the court name.
In the city,
I can't keep coming back and forth.
I mean, we'll ask for a dismissal, but they're gonna ask for another court date because they still don't have the video.
Because I ain't doing nothing.
So we'll see. Maybe they'll offer you something that we'll have a conversation about. We'll see. Well, they're the only ones that can dismiss it. They won't dismiss it. They'll just keep asking for continuances and driving us down. But we'll see. Yeah, see. I do it all the time.
Can he do that?
That's what I was just.
Oh, there she is.
Where,
It's 2017.
Oh, I remember. You know what?
And it dismissed.
Yeah. You know, I talked to, first I had to get it straight where it happened. I talked to Marlene and they're, yeah, somebody was supposed to be trying to get me the costs. But she. Said it happened in one place. Because I said having this was two of them. So they went down here and they said and have one hand. So it's kind of
Williams.
screwed everything up.
G. Felix and Leroy.
Yeah, just, I forgot all about that. 'Cause I was- Right.
14 years ago, I'm both of those, and you're gonna dismiss.
Jacobs?
The city's gonna take it. This is file. So you're just gonna have to hang tight with the judge's charter case.
The file is with the other one. For Foresight.
Do I need to do anything with it?
Started here last time.
City's dismissing.
Nicole May?
There is. They don't have the video. The police report.
Yep. Mr. Williams, your counsel on the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to ask her.
Where have I?
I will ask for dismissals on all of them. She's gonna ask for continuances on all of them.
Marcus Harris?
Did show up down here at the prosecutor's office Sunday morning. They said that the wrong case and then the subpoena said, she was in the case, so the city's northwestern. So, I don't know what her position is. So she did show up on the subpoena, so I asked her if she could. And this is sort of different. So it's okay, so it's things like we're going to tell Karen, did you see going down last mile?
No.
Yep. Smacking a cop's ass after the national championship game.
How many more trials are there?
Good.
All right. Good.
These two, she's gonna ask for continuances. So if you watch this video, there's a male. Just being dumb. Post game celebration. In the locker room. One of the cops came in there and told the players to stop smoking cigars. And a dumb was over. They investigated for sex crime and they decided to charge them misdemeanor battery. Yeah, their misdemeanor battery is the same as I wanted. It's a possible $6,000 fine, but not potentially it's a $7,000.
That has to be, that happens.
Yeah.
How about you send an autograph? Tell them
Sell the pants for $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Charlestown was wealthy. What are we amending? Are we just?
It's only. I don't know what I do this. Thanks, cousin. Oh, yeah, main count one. Pick one, I guess it doesn't matter.
Hey, take that traffic case with you too. Just make sure you know.
You're asking for
Yeah.
Okay. Why y'all sitting there? It just don't look good. That's all.
She's asking for continuances on these three trials. And this is
She.
Did you give us?
Yeah.
You speak your file?
Who?
Okay. Did you read your file?
Opaz. What we still? He don't tell you. He don't tell you that part. He just do stuff and then you don't know what he did.
You have to know these things.
Nothing's going forward. That's great. Like this day.
So you understand they were sitting next to each other. And I asked him, supposed to, what I'm saying is, you know, you can be like, 22 cent right, so they gotta move. And like, hey, you know, like, so, I saw you. Get caught. He worked for me at him. I'm like, I'm gonna get my kid. I'm a full-time parent now, so this shit new to me.
Yeah, you got to do it, brother.
This shit way new to me.
And we're Ventura, whatever his name. Ventura, ex Ventura, little white guy.
Oh, he had to, I had sent him a note because he had, his attorney texted me and said like he got stuck in a traffic downtown, so he ain't gonna be able to he won't be able to come. So I sent him a note. I think Mo took care of it because he never came back. So I think Mo took care of it.
This dude waiting on this turn here. All right.
This one, no, you want this one. Who is it? That's the guy doing your talk.
Yourself.
I didn't see it. On the ticket, it says 12, but I know we did it for you. I know, I was supposed to be fine. Peek at the ticket, see?
What's on this?
I know. It's like what's that? It's probably a little bit of everything. So we get, I know that he's mad. I know that I don't want to get out. So she's very double check, but I'm pretty sure it's insurance. And he already did remedial. What is this? Is this a UI class?
That's what I want to see. Sometimes,
You got your car insurance? He's insurance. So that takes care of
I want to see where he is in terms of the situation.
Well, that's what I'm looking at, because if that was talking, this just has stage. This one didn't go until the late 15. So technically, he was within. He just had this time. So, he Oh, here you go.
We get a little snag in the road with people's. Protest is not one of you. Diversion. She wants to mediate it. I explained with the program.
She could probably use.
She's not. She's nursing job. She's got 180 hours to do with her externship. She's.
So it's a time issue. What?
I don't feel like I need the program.
So it's a time issue and
If you lose, then you've got two things that can pop up that won't just go away like that. And then he can still put you in the program whether you think you need it or not. This is a way to make it work for you. It's not always just up to you. There are people who drink every day and don't think they're alcoholics, but. And I'm not saying it to be sarcastic. He wasn't inclined to do that. And he has the final say as to whether or not we do that.
we wanted you to do 6 weeks of this program. Let me see.
Which is normally 12, by the way, which is normally 12.
To at least, well, if anything, he's the judge. Secondarily, for some self-benefit.
What's up benefit? When I was 18, I already did the program, like I've been to.
Two things.
This wasn't gonna be actually the program he was talking about.
All rise. It's for ladies. Yeah, it's for ladies. Court of 9 session, Judge Dawson presiding.
Please have a seat, everyone. All right, everyone, thank you for your patience. A few important matters I always have to address, no matter how many you've been in court, have to make sure you know what your rights are. First of all, you all have the right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make a statement even when I call your name, though you do have to come to the microphone. Your hands must be visible, but you don't have to make a statement. You have the right to remain silent. You also have a right to an attorney, which is why there's always a delay before I come out. We want to make sure whoever needs to speak with the defense attorney has had that opportunity. If you have not had an opportunity, we will give you a chance to speak with Mr. Humphrey. Just let me know that. And at the same time, you have a right to hire your own attorney. So if there's someone that you would like to represent you, please let me know and I'll give you a chance to come back with your own attorney. You also have a right to a trial. That's important because maybe you've had discussions with the defense attorney or the prosecutor about your case. And before you enter your pleas in front of me at that microphone, keep in mind you still have a right to a trial. The trial, unless you make a request in writing within the proper time frame for a jury trial. Before either trial, we will make sure that you know the evidence against you at the period. Your witness won't come based on you making that request. We will subpoena your witnesses for you. And keep in mind, even in a trial, you still have the right to remain silent. When I call your name, there are 4 types of pleas you can enter. The first one is